Hello, Thomas. Last week we did a little bit of insomnia racing. Today we're going to do a little bit of vampire racing all night, overnight. That's Sha Tin. I think the first one starts at like 2 a.m. Eastern, and the last one goes off probably like around 5 a.m. Eastern. So,
Well, either that or you're going to get up early to do the last races, right?
either that, yeah, you're wrapping some presents. I mean, there's a lot of things. It's vampire racing, I think, for the holidays. That's what we're going to do. Last week, a pretty successful week, I thought, at Eagle Farm. There was a pick four in there. 20 cents, I think, paid $150 for the second, and first pick or something along those lines. So
Yeah.
hopefully we
very
can
well.
do something of similar success in Hong Kong today, Thomas.
Certainly
We've been doing this for a while when I can remember the names of the races, like the Poinsettia Stakes and another one that we'll be talking about, because we did these races last year.
Yep.
So hopefully, do you remember how we did last year? I don't.
No, I couldn't tell you.
I'm going to say we did great. We nailed them all. We all had the winner in our top pick for sure.
Well, we certainly try to, that's for sure.
Well, that's always the goal. Sometimes you achieve your goals and sometimes you don't. The great news
flat
is
on your face.
we have about 9 days left to 2024, so we get to just wipe the whiteboard clean and start all over again next year. Be our new selves.
That would be the ideal thing. Hopefully, we have better results.
We had great results. We're going to go from great to like exquisite for 2024. Speaking of great, the weather looks like it should be pretty good over there. The track right now is rated good. It's going to be 55 degrees and mostly sunny tomorrow, so I don't expect the track to change the conditions much, Tom. I'm sure you agree with that sentiment.
I would be surprised if it did.
Yeah, I would be surprised as well. So we're going to start in race number 5 at Sha Tin. Let me bring that up there. Race number 5. This one is the Holly handicap. Is going to be 1,650 meters on the all-weather track. Now, ordinarily we just mess around with the the grass track.
Of course, yeah.
So a little bit different today. Let's take a look real quick, Tom, in race number 1, the 1,650 meters. Looking at that 1,650 meters on this track, looks like they're going to go all the way around the track.
Yeah, once around.
Yeah, a little bit more than once around, right?
Yeah, 650s right after. It's fifth, plus on right off the finish line. So yeah, once around essentially. So think of it as a mile race on a lot of these tracks where they have the 2-turn miles.
Yeah, and they're going to go a little bit. They go backwards there, right? Looks like to me.
Yeah.
So with them going backwards, Tom, with that turn right there on the couple strides out, right into the turn, how much do you feel like inside position or early speed is going to make a difference?
It does make a difference, but it'll slide over a little bit. I mean, if you've got a late runner, the jockey will just take the horse back.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty quick. I mean, there's not a lot of speed in this race. But the speed that's here appears to be on the inside. So some of those guys on the outside are going to get pushed out a little bit.
Well, speaking of speed, Tom, glad you brought it up. You can see what the race shape looks like right here. They expect the pace to be good. You can get all this at racing.hkjc, HongKongJockeyClub.com. They have a lot of information available to you, including past performances, which are a bit hard to read, but anyway. So it does look like you got a few of them, Tom, that want to get out to the front. A lot of, I don't know exactly what their post positions are, but you can see right in here the ones that should get out front. So I'm expecting a pretty quick pace out of the gates. Anything in here that strikes you as odd?
No, I didn't. I mean, this is an interesting race because it is an all-weather. Mm-hmm. And there's some, most of these horses have some experience on it. So that always makes it a little more interesting.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say, not the highest quality field. Not that they're not.
This is the bottom. This is close to the bottom of the barrel.
All right. So bottom of the barrel at Hong Kong, Thomas. With that in mind, I expect big numbers out of you in terms of odds. So who do you got?
No, I don't really think I have big numbers, but I do going to start with number 12, MM Nebula. My top choice has got draw 4. This one does have plenty of speed, and I think the draw really helps it. It's won at this distance before on the all-weather. Last out, he was a bit crowded early, but race was okay. I just think he's a little better trip. He's going to perform a lot better. He's number 2. I'm going to pick is my next choice, which is Nordic Star with draw 1. I didn't show much at the class 3 level, so he's going to drop down class 4 last out, and he came on to be 3rd. And again, another one that had some trouble on the trip. So this will be interesting to see if he takes a rail trip and if that'll benefit him to be able to close, and hopefully not a lot of traffic, but it's always hard to say. And finally, I'm going to take number 5, Blissful Star, has draw 12, my final choice. So after he's been racing at Happy Valley and at Sha Tin, and it's done, well, not much. He switched to the all-weather and ran a strong second, losing by a neck, and he was at huge odds. And he's run at huge odds for a while. He's run twice on the all-weather, and the last effort was the best effort. And let's face it, the draw doesn't do him any favors here. So I'm not expecting him to win, but I'm not going to leave him out because I like that last effort.
That's the quintessential Tom. Gonna win? In the money? Yeah. I'm going to start off with a shot right here with Amazing Teens horse. Has been out of form, but does have some really good back class and also has some decent all-weather class. Last race out, the horse showed like it wanted to improve a little bit, actually did improve. So maybe going to come back to life for this one at a good price. Number 2, Nordic Star. Well, Tom, I have to say, when you look at the Hong Kong jockey stats, there's Zach Purton and there's everybody else, right? So any horse that looks like it's got a chance that Zach is on, it better be in your picks. Number 7, Lucky Banner is my 3rd choice. Won his last race on the all-weather track, Tom, and I think has a shot to be forward in this race. Draw number 2, so should be a good post with that quick turn. I think he can be on the front and not necessarily run a fast pace. And then finally, number 4, my final choice, All Are Mine. I think that's a horse that won its last race. Well, I know that for sure. And if you look through the Hong Kong speed ratings, whatever they're worth compared to ours, got to imagine there's some similar math in that. Did improve its speed figure in the last 3 races. In the United States, according to Barry Meadows, that means those horses usually win at 15% or more. That is, my friend, what they call an alpha angle for me. Anything that wins over 12% is an alpha angle. Actually, in a place like this, too, where there's 12 horses in the field, anything that hits at over 15% is a super alpha angle. Next up for us, Tom, is going to be race number 6. This one is eventually going to show up as the Ivy handicap. There we go. I don't know why the computer screen doesn't want to cooperate today, but they're going to run 1,400 meters. This time, they're on the turf course. You can see here on this screen, 1,400 meters here. They're going to run the wrong way. On our picture, you see 1,400 meters here. They're going to run the wrong way on that image as well, Tom. A little bit more length in the back to work with. It looks like wide sweeping turns. How important is speed and position?
This is one where it should be playing pretty fairly. The pace in this race looks to be a little slow, I think, overall. So we'll see how that pans out.
So according
to I think that's partially because these are inexperienced horses.
Could be, yeah, but I think the pace should be pretty good. It looks like it's a pretty balanced field according to the Hong Kong calculations in there, Thomas. I would say just looking at this, though, if you were to put a dividing line in there, it looks like there's a few more horses towards the back than the front. So I would probably look for a horse middle forward just from that race shape. Doesn't necessarily mean what kind of class that they have, Tom. But who do you rank as first in your class?
I'm going to take number 10, Fighting Machine, as my top choice, with draw 3. It's got 2 race career. It's shown a little in both of the races. It's had trouble in both of the races. The first race it ran it had to be eased back and then came wide. finished 7th. And then in the last race, again, he was checked early, blocked, came back with a cut on his leg, and ran 7th.
Tough race.
Yeah, really interesting. That gentleman jockey you mentioned in the 5th race is now going to switch to this horse for this race. That means to me the horse may be coming to form. And certainly Zach will get bet. That's for sure. Yeah. I did pull up the stat on the trainer jockey combination here. In 27 races, they have won 9 times.
1 out of 3. My math is correct.
That's pretty good.
Yes, the U.S. public schools didn't hurt me on that one. So 33%.
Yeah, that's a nice number.
Indeed.
I'm going to take number 2. Solid Shalala is my next choice with draw 2. In the last 3 races were Happy Valley, and the last effort was really probably its best effort. It ran well enough to get 5th. The trainer added a tongue tie last time out, and this time he's going to leave the tongue tie on and take the blinkers off. So it's interesting. I mean, this is one that's done well. I mean, I think there's better races to come out of this horse because his lifetime records is 3 wins, 2 seconds, but his Hong Kong record is he's got 11 starts and 1 second. Maybe they've adjusted it. Maybe the all weather. It's just going to be the right combination to try to figure this horse out. And it did run better last time. I'm going to hope that it's going to continue that trend upwards. Finally, I'm going to take number 9, Volcanic Spark, with draw 1 as my final choice. Never far back in its first start, showed 1 pace around, finished 7th. It was about 3.5 lengths back. The notes said tough trip. I think the inside draw will be a challenge for an inexperienced horse, but I'm going to take a chance on the second start in Hong Kong for this one.
I'm going to take a chance on the horse that we agree on, Tom. Solid Shalala or whatever. This one will definitely be closing, and I feel like getting a little bit of extra distance relative to his most recent races is going to be helpful. Number 3, Perfetto, is my next choice in there, Tom. The only win that this horse came at the Sha Tin track, and this horse is another that I feel like will be coming at the end. And if I remember correctly from watching these, when I managed to stay up that late, it does seem to me like horses that
get up that early.
Yeah, whichever. Usually once I go to sleep, that's it for me. I'm done. I'm not going to get up that early. I mean, I do get up early, but not 3 a.m. early. But I do expect Perfetto, if recollection is accurate, to close. And I do think that the closers tend to do all right in Sha Tin on the grass. Smiling Collector, the 8 horse, is next on my list in there, Thomas. The Smiling Collector, last race, if you look at it in the past performances, you probably pass on that one, just looking at the numbers. If you dig in a little bit, you'll find out that he took off more than a second than he did from the previous start at the same distance. And that's always, in my book, a sign of a horse on the upswing. And then finally, number 1, Super 10. That was the number 1 horse. I don't know what post position, 14, way on the outside. I don't think that really matters, though, here. But I'm going to take a flyer on this one, Tom. I think this one's going to be a bomb. But all of his wins have come at the distance, so all 4 of them. It's an all-or-nothing horse. So 17 races, 4 wins, if I remember, at the distance. And last time out, if you look at the past performances, you'll see that he stayed closer to the front all the way around the track. So I think you're going to see some more improvement from Super 10 tonight.
You're going to have to use that one early to get position, because with that 14, it is not the best place to come out of.
But we'll see. It's going to be a bomb, Tom. I'm shooting for the stars on that one, Tom. Next race for us is going to be race number 7. Hopefully we don't have to shoot for the stars on that one, Tom. Hopefully we can find some. Yeah, but you know what? I like those long shots. I had one last week, I think, at one and paid like $22, $23 on top. But that's not a long shot. That's just an average payout, right, for us. The Ya Chai Trophy Handicap. This one, again, is on the turf. 2,000 meters. Tom, look at the prize money here. 3.1 million Hong Kong dollars. And if we look at, what's it, 2,400, was it 2,000 meters again, Tom, right?
Yeah, 2,000. I'm going to go around.
A little bit more than,
around the track.
Round and round they go. And you could see here again, another case where they're going to head into that turn a little bit early. So, on turf, you probably, especially long race, you want closers. Do you feel like with the longer race that they're going to come jogging out of the gates, or do you expect a couple to really try to get into that turn early?
I think they'll be looking for position because of that quick. But it's a little smaller field than the rest of the races that we are handicapping too. So with that, I can see the ones that want cover are going to sit back, and there seems to be a number of them that want cover in this race.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can see here, looks like Bourbonnaire is the one that wants to take advantage of it, get to the front, has a good draw to do it, as they mentioned here. And then you got a bunch that are going to probably sit right behind him. So, maybe you get a little bit of a pace early on, a little bit of push on Bourbonnaire. So maybe some of these horses in here might be 5G Patch, Columbus County, Rise Brethren, LA City Blanche. They might get good trips, Tom, in terms of the pace and the race setup. What do you think?
I did going to take one of those horses, and that's number 4, La City Blanche, who has draw 5. He's coming in after running really showed a lot of speed his last time out. And he was running in one of those international races, the Vaz, and that's a Group 1. Well, this is a little bit, not quite.
A little bit of a downgrade.
A little bit, yeah. And that was the one race that the French horse won. The Hong Kong horses won all the other 3 horses. And so good field, tough race. He's now dropping to a level I think he's going to be a lot more competitive at, and has been in the past. And so I'm going to put him on top. Number 2, 5G Patch is going to be the next choice. Got draw 6. He ran that same race as my top choice, and he didn't have the best of runs there. He ran 6th. Again, another one getting a little class relief. I think this is more suited to him than that other race, frankly. And we'll see how he, again, he's got some back class, and he's certainly run some decent races, and he's won a few bucks too. Number 6, Columbus County is going to be my final choice with draw 3. He's had a bunch of races at this level, and he's had trouble in most of them. And but I think he's adding distance today, and a little better trip. I think that really is going to help this horse. He's shown something before. I think he can get in the money, and I'm thinking get a little bit of a price with this one, and it'll certainly help the bottom line.
Yeah, anytime you get a price, it'll help the bottom line. We have some agreement here, Tom, which is interesting because last week we didn't have much. This week we have a little bit so far, a little overlap. There's that name again, Tom, Zach Burton. 5G Patch, that's where I'm going to start. The last race was a Group 1. The race before that was a Group 2. And I think he should be able to handle this level. You got the top jockey on there too. Next horse up for me is it La City or LA City? What do you think?
I'll go with La City.
La City. Last time out, this horse held its speed longer than it did the prior start. So, and it's cutting back in distance here. So when you see a horse do that, so you see the 1s or the 2s go a little bit further to the right in the past performances that did a prior start. Usually a horse that's on getting more fit. And then if you cut back some distance on that horse, it's helpful. That's what we're having with La City Blanche today. Number 1, Tourbillon Diamond. Thomas gets the highest rating in here, 99. Looks like an every other horse, what I call light switch horse, and every other race horse. Like he runs a good one, then a bad one, a good one, then a bad one. The last time was the bad one, so you know what that means for Tourbillon Diamond today. Then finally, I think this one's an American horse, right? Ensued was a tough call for me, maybe American bred. Tough call for me over the 8 horse in their Awesome Fluke, but Ensued has raced at Hong Kong at the Sha Tin track 3 times, managed to win 2 of them. The one he didn't win was the last time out, but got off to a goofy start, which kind of screwed up his chances and still kind of rallied at the end. So I think a cleaner start for Ensued, and we could see it win 3 out of 4 at Hong Kong. Race number 4 for us in terms of our work, but race number 8 on the card, Tom, is the Pine Handicap. In this case, they're going to run on the turf again. They're going to run 1,200 meters. The prize money not as good as the last one, but still a big chunk of change there. $1.8 million. You can see 1,200. Did I close the wrong one there, Tom?
Probably.
I just pressed the wrong button. 1,200 meters on the turf course. They're going to come here. A little turn, but not a little bit of time to get to the turn. Nice sweeping turn. Rally down that back stretch for home, Tom. This is what I wanted to see, the speed map here. This one looks pretty balanced from front to back. I Give could get the lead on some of these and could do so easily in here, it says. So if you get off to an easy lead, oops, I don't know what I did there, Tom, but get off to an easy lead, maybe it's enough to go wire to wire. Do you have I Give in your picks?
I do.
All right.
But I'm going to start with number 6, Joyful Hunter, with draw 11. He's run some good races, and then he didn't get a good start in his last one, and that was the end of the race for him.
Mm-hmm.
But that's unusual. The horse usually does get a good start. He hasn't won yet this season, but he does have 2 third place runs. And, he's going to drop back in distance. I think that helps. And I think just a better start, even with the 11 slot. I think he's got a good chance. Finally, next one I'm going to take is number 2, Cotton Fingers, with draw 2. Since racing in Hong Kong, he's run second twice and then an average effort. Before coming to Hong Kong, though, he won twice, he ran second twice, and he ran third once. So there's definitely, looks like he had some improvement from the last run. And I think that you've got to put him, he's kept improving. He's got 2 races. He's run second twice here. You've got to think he's going to do something good. And number 3, I Give, with draw 3. He's won 5 in a row. We had him last time. Both of us did. And what I find interesting about this horse is, if you look at its odds, it was the favorite last time out and went off at 3-1. The other time it was a favorite, it went off at 3-1. Otherwise, it's been pretty big odds in those 5 wins in a row. Mm-hmm. Definitely got the speed. Just a matter of he's going up. Can he handle this group? And we'll see.
So I think the key is, if the horse is 3-1, you got to book it.
Looks that way, doesn't it? I will not complain about 3-1 odds.
Well, I won't complain if I get 3-1 odds on True Genius either. I mean, the horse has been off for a while, Tom. It's going to be the first race since June. But the truth of the matter is, this horse has the most back class, and it's really not even close. The works are there. If he's ready, I think True Genius might be, in terms of what we're looking at today, the single on my card. But it's got to be ready off that long break. Number 7, Amor War Eagle, another horse making its first start after a layoff. Prior to going on to the sidelines, the horse was great form heading into the barn. I like to look back at horses that are making their first start off, to look at other first starts and their debut to see how he did. He won his debut, so that gets a check mark, and ran evenly in the other race where he had some time off. So I expect a good effort. Works are pretty good as well. One that we do agree on here too, Tom, Cotton Fingers, is my third choice. Improved plenty in his last race. And looks like one of those horses, sometimes, Tom, when you look through the past performances, you see a horse come off, they get rest, they run well, and then they slowly degrade before they get to the bench again. This horse looks like the opposite. Looks like it takes a couple of races for it to get oiled up and ready to go. The more races, the better. This one showed some improvement last time out, and adding another race, I think, only adds to the chance for this horse to improve. And then finally, I Give. We talked about why this horse has a shot, Tom. If you look here, on the last 6 runs, it's the only one with 1-1-1-1-1. Going to get to the lead. That's how he's won 5 in a row. He's going to be on the lead again here, Tom, and maybe makes it 6 in a row, because the longer he holds the lead, the greater his confidence will grow. Maybe that one's the one, because of the race shape, that everybody should think about kind of keying your picks around. He's going to get the race he wants up on the lead.
Yeah, it's just a matter of what pace, and the numbers suggest he matches up pretty well. If you look at his final times, they've been quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so I mean, and he's got an advantage in the race, being basically the lone speed.
Right.
Race number 9, Spruce Handicap. Tom, I think this is the one last year that I hit for like $1,300, and I was all fired up just to find out that the conversion ratio was like 80-1, and I actually won like $32. But this one's going to be 1,650 meters on the all-weather track. So we'll look over here again, 1,650 meters. Again, coming out right into that turn. So early position could play a big part in this race. And according to their speed map, the Yellowfin, Fiery Diamond, and Frantrack might have a hard time on the outside. So I would say Yellowfin and Fiery Diamond, if you're looking for an inside draw with a little bit of speed, might be the two that you focus on, Tom. Who did you focus on at the top of your picks?
I did focus on one of those, and I took number 5, Fiery Diamond, as my top choice with draw 8. It's ran 2 good races, and then ran a very average race with trouble and finished 6th. His best efforts have all been on the all-weather. He's got 15 starts. 15 starts. He's got 3 wins, 4 seconds, and a third on the all-weather. He's never won at this distance. He's tried it 3 times, and he did have a second in that. And he came from an outside post 10 to win. So I give him a nice chance here based on his form, and I don't just toss that last race out because of the problems.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, Chin, is going to be my next choice. With draw 2. First time starter on the all-weather here. He's run 13 times on the turf, and he's got 4 wins. So, and a good record overall. He's a cloud runner, so he's going to be way back in this race. Why did I pick him? Well, he's for the all-weather. He's by Frosted, and Frosted has dropped some good all-weather runners. So breeding suggests he should like the all-weather.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, I'm going to take a bomb, and that's number 10, So We Joy, who is going to come out of number 14. Last race was the best race he's run in a long time. His other races were, the comments were no rally, not finishing, nothing left, kind of thing. Well, they're going to put a new jockey on here from last time who they used, and the horse Azeri ran a much better race than he's run before. So interesting change in jockeys may have made the big difference. Of course, they got that 14 post to come out of, so that's. Mm-hmm. But since this is a dawdler, maybe. But you're going to need a really big effort from that 14 to be able to get something here.
And Tom's expecting one. I'm expecting one from number 7, Aidfill. If you look at that line, very consistent across that line there. If the search button wouldn't show up, that's what I like about the horse. He's been a very consistent performer. But the best part of it all is his best work has come on all-weather like today. I think he's actually been proven to be the best all-weather horse in this field, in my view. 9 races, 3 wins, a couple of seconds, and a couple of thirds. Ching. It probably has a whole different meaning in Chinese than it does in Spanish, but nonetheless, it's going to try all-weather for the first time. Turf record suggests that should take it to the new surface, and Tom mentioned some of the breeding there. So I think he has more than a good chance to show up here today. Everyone's Delight. Boy, look at those numbers up here the last 6 runs. So why in the world would you take Everyone's Delight, Thomas? It's a good question. But the horse does absolutely have back class relative to the rest of this field. And last time out, there were some hints that he might be regaining that form. And then finally, you picked Fiery Diamond from that list of the front runners. I went with the other one, Yellowfin. Tried the track one time, tried the distance one time, won that one, and it'll be one of those horses that is catch me if you can, Thomas. I think he'll be up on the front, and all the rest will have to run that one down. All right, Tom, well, we ran down all the card. We have all of the big races anyway. We got one more to go. That is race number 10, the Poinsettia Handicap. This is when I realized, hey, we did these races last year. Turf course again. This time they're going to run 1,400 meters. 1,400 meters on the grass. You got a pretty long back stretch there, pretty wide sweeping turns. Again, my recollection is that horses that do well at Hong Kong tend to be middle and back and come off the pace. But if I'm wrong, my memory, and, first thing to go, according to our good friend Jay Marco, is that memory. Massive Action should be the one that's pulling the card early. Going to have plenty of company. Again, when I see most of the horses to the right or towards the front, I'm usually looking middle of the pack, unless the one here can get out by itself and back. Tom, who are you looking at?
I went with number 6, the Air, with draw 11 as my top choice. He ran second in his 2 races at Hong Kong, and before coming to Hong Kong, he'd run 7 times, has 3 wins, 1 second, and 3 thirds. But in those 2 races, he both had some trouble. One he was eased back and then came on, and then the other one he was crowded at the 800 meter mark in the race, and was able to still get okay. I think he's going to get his first win with a clean trip.
Good call.
Number 4, Solid Impact, is going to be my next choice, and had to draw 14. I'm having this thing with that outside draw. Last time he had draw 11 and was able to come on late and get 5th with some trouble. He ran 4th in a race before this one, and these were both at 1,200 meters. I ran a little distance. I think that may help this horse. And his past record at 1,400 is pretty good. Got 8 starts. He's got 3 seconds and 2 thirds. Well, I'm not looking to win. I'm looking to get in the money, and that's where I'm playing him. And number 2, Beauty Crescent is going to be my final choice. Number 3, Draw. It was wide draw last time out, ran 3rd, only losing by half a length. I now like the inside draw. I think that's going to help this horse a lot. A little better trip this season. He has won once from 4 starts, and that was at this distance. This is one that could easily win this race, frankly. I didn't put him on top just because, but I think this is one to watch.
Well, I think he is going to win the race, Tom, because I'm my top pick in there. I think this one's going to have plenty of late run in this race, Tom. And looking back at the previous start where you say finished 3rd, pretty close, got off to a little bit of a goofy start, so a cleaner start. And he would have won that one, cleaner start today, and he wins this one, Tom. We'll see.
Better race, better results is the way I always look at it.
Yeah, but I hate whenever I'm kind of like making declarations because it almost always goes the opposite way. Well, Solid Impact.
That's why you're doing that.
Yeah, because I wanted to finish 4th, 3rd. You have
right. You want 4th.
Solid Impact, Tom, has been solid at the distance. You had mentioned that. Been running at 6 furlongs, so a little bit shorter of late. This one's another one that'll be closing at the end. And, I know it's got that outside draw, but that extra runway late today could be a difference maker for Solid Impact. Massive Action, the 3-horse. Tom, look at that. Getting a 10-pound weight break. How about that? And he's going to be the pace setter. I love speed horses that carry less weight because they usually hold that weight. You hold that speed longer in here, Tom. And aside from the 7-horse in here, E-Legend, I don't really think anybody else is going to challenge that one up front. So I think he can get away with some easy fractions, and that 10-pound weight break or 2 lengths could be the difference between winning and finishing 3rd or 4th by a length. Finally, the 1-horse, the final pick today before we head into the holidays, Mighty Stride. Going to make its first start after a layoff in here, Tom. The only other time the horse had a first start was in its debut. Finished a pretty close 2nd. and the barrier trials prepping for today are sharp enough to think that it can produce another solid effort first off the bench. Tom, that wraps up our picks heading into the holidays, Mr. Thomas, for Hong Kong. Should be a lot of fun. Any ideas what we'll do for the last Foreign Friday of 2023?
Well, Hong Kong for New Year's races on Monday, on New Year's Day, which makes sense because it's always superstitious, lucky nonsense stuff going on. And I probably think we should return to Sha Tin and the Monday racing.
Sounds like a good idea to me. So we'll be able to sharpen our pencil tips on this one and make sure that we fill in the right. Remember those tests, Tom? We had to fill in the circles with the pen. Hopefully next week, after this week, a little bit of studying at Sha Tin, we'll be even sharper next week when we were this week. Of course, Monday is Christmas, so we won't be back on Monday. We wish everybody a Merry Christmas and whatever holiday you celebrate. May it be joyous, and the time with your family and friends and the food and all that stuff just be fantastic. On Tuesday, I'll be back with Terry for Parks. Santa Anita has a handful, I think, of big stakes races on the 26th. We will have a wagering guide, a guaranteed tip sheet, so make sure you look for that. So link for the free picks all day, every day. We have free picks, a guaranteed tip sheet. Link in the description down below. Make sure you use that so they know where you're coming from. All right, Tom, before we check out of here, start gearing up.
And it's opening day for Santa Anita for their winter spring meet.
Yeah, it was a lot of big races. Should be fun. And then, of course, when we come back in 2024, you got the Pegasus at the end of January, and the road to the Kentucky Derby starts to heat up. And we plan on covering that extensively as the new year flips over.
And we also have the Saudi Arabian races with the $2 million dirt race going to be coming up. And then in March, we'll have the Dubai World Cup races, which generally attract a few decent horses.
And then in June, we'll have Royal Ascot. And then this time
we got a lot of good stuff coming.
Yes, indeed. And this time next year, we'll be doing the Poinsettia again, Tom. And I go, you know what? Hey, I remember that race.
Probably. Either that or head to Australia. I don't know.
We'll do something fun. All right, Tom. Any final thoughts before you check out with your family and head over to have a wonderful holiday?
Well, as always with the Hong Kong, you can always expect some of the unexpected, especially at these lower level races. So handicap creatively and think outside the box a little bit to see if you can get some winners.
That's certainly what we try to do.
Okay.
Just realize that it's like 100,000 to 1 conversion ratio. Yeah, I learned that lesson the hard way. All right, folks. Thanks again for joining us again. We hope everybody has a Merry Christmas, and no matter what you celebrate, that you and your family enjoy it. Have a great time together. Of course, we always hope that you have God's grace, God's favor in everything that you do. Between here and the time we get back together again, Thomas, ends up in
the winner's enclosure.
Indeed. Have a fantastic weekend, folks. Thanks for joining us. Look forward to seeing you again.